Hi there. This is Dr. Everybody, and we're looking at Project 8. And Project 8 is kind of interesting because what we're going to do is look at how you can use some Python tools to scrape web pages automatically. And so what we've done, we've actually, in many respects, done some of the hard work and created a function that will scrape some information off of the people page on the off of MSU, and you can do this in many sites. We're just picking on MSU because it's there, and we also want to show you that if your information is available someplace, somebody can probably scrape it off. One of the things you should do after doing this project is MSU offers the opportunity for you to hide some of your information. This hopefully will provide a motivation to do that. So if we look at the page itself, you click on it and there's find a people page, and then you can enter a first name, last name, you can enter an ID, and so on. If I put myself in there, it'll find me because I'm that's what my net ID is, and it takes a little bit. Notice how it grinds, takes a little while to respond, and we find the same thing in terms of our program. And what we're going to do is we are going to grab, we're going to give it something like a net ID, and then we're going to grab this information and put it into a dictionary. All right. So let's take a look at what we have here. We're providing a function, and this function is customized so that it's going to do the people search there, and it uses a package called Beautiful Soup, and we basically do all the work for you to how this particular package works. And so we send out a query, and then we're going to print a little information just to see what's going on. By the way, we're going to want to get rid of these once the project is going. You may or may not want to do this with the name. Maybe you want to do this with the net ID. And so we actually provide you with a working program. And what this working program does is it prompts for a net ID, and it builds a payload, sends that payload to this function that we have, and then prints what comes back, just sort of the basic pieces of that. So if I run this program and it asks for an ID, and what I will do is I will enter an ID, which is actually one of our TAs, and I will hide that, hopefully successfully. And you wait, and you wait, and you wait. Maybe you pop up a solitaire game or something to entertain you while you're waiting for this to respond. And sometimes it will actually not respond. But this time it did. Okay, so there's a little bit of information that came back. So this thing works. It actually went to the web page, got this guy's information, and now what's our strategy here? Well, we have a number of things to do. We have, just by looking at the menu, one of the things to do is just prompt for a net ID and get the information. Hey, we just did that. Another option is to get the multiple IDs from a file. So once I can do this once, I can then just open a file. Oh, you know what would be even better to do? Let's think about that right now. Is that once I've figured out how to grab one net ID, let's make a function out of that. And then when I want to read a whole bunch of net IDs from the file, I can have a for loop that will go through a file that we open, and then each time I get a line, I'll call my function I just wrote. So if I have that function, I can have this simple little for loop that just keeps going and grabbing names. Let's create a master dictionary. I'll call it master D. And so I'll call that function, and then I will add into my my master dictionary. So I've given you the a function, and so using that, we're going to take this information, build it into a function, and now once I've got that working for one net ID, I'll just have a simple for loop and do it multiple times. Same thing, just call that function, get the information back, put it into my master dictionary. So that'll be my strategy. I'll get that done first, make a function, use that function to do multiple ones, and then I can do the same thing with steps 2 and 4. Just do the same type of thing with last name and then get a file of those. Displaying, that's just a print. Remove, well, we just use the remove function, remove method of dictionaries, and then we can take a look at writing it. So in some sense, this is an organizational problem. In some sense, we've done the hard work for you. So let's take a look at this part of the problem. So I want to make a function out of this. First of all, I am going. Oops! I didn't want to do that. Let's create a new one here because I just don't want to blow away my sample. So this is proj08.py. Okay, so now I have that. We can start working on this. I want to get rid of that print statement. I want to get rid of my print statements in the function because I don't need those anymore. I think there's another one up here someplace. Yep. So that was just all to help you figure out what's going on. I think I'll leave the prompt outside of my function. So let's build a function. I'll call this the net ID query, and let's pass it my master dictionary and a net ID, and I'll paste in my stuff here. I guess I just called this regular net ID. Now I want to add it to my master. And what's the key? Well, the key will be the net ID. And for right now, let's just put the information that's in there. Now you're gonna, right now, it doesn't have all the information that we expect. You're gonna have to do that part, but this will go and change the master. But I better initialize my master dictionary. And there we go. Now I've created a function. Oh, I got to call my function. So I've prompted for it, and now I call it net ID, a master dictionary, and we called it given net ID here. Now I've written this so that I don't have a return because my master D is mutable. You may choose to do, to return the master dictionary. Design decision, you get to choose that. Now let's see, after I've put these few lines in here, does this actually work? So I type in the TAs and let's wait. Now it's a good time to bring up your solitaire game, maybe make a little more progress in that. Okay, so what happened? Well, it looked like nothing happened because I took all my print statements out. We can take a look at the master dictionary, and there it is. So I've got my key, I've got my information about this guy, and so now I have created a function. I can take this now, and I can so the next, so I've got a function now. Now I can look at taking the multiple IDs from a file. Basically, I'm going to have a for loop that rather than prompting for an ID, I'm going to read that out of the file. I'll be reading a line out of the file, and then I'll call this function. So I can make a new function that just has a little opens the file, has a little for loop, and just does this repeatedly. Once I get that working, then I can do the same thing for the last name and first name, and away we go. One final thing to show you here is let's open a file for writing. And I actually gave you a file name in here someplace. There it is. Open that file for writing, and then I can print my master dictionary. File equals FP. Now it will just write that into the file. Got to always close it. Remember, if you don't close the file, it won't actually be written. So now I can do the same thing. And we wait. And now we see that we have a file, and it has my information in it. And if I had a larger dictionary, it would be more information in there. So there you go. There's the basics of this. It's basically create a the basic idea here is create a master dictionary and start filling it up. We can fill it up with one or a whole file of net IDs. We can do it with one name or a whole file of names. We can print it out, format it nicely. Okay, you get to do a little formatting there. You can remove a name from a dictionary. Well, if you've got a dictionary and you prompt for a net ID, that's just one method to do it. I just showed you how to write a dictionary. And now I have to put this all in the loop so that I can exit. All the rest of that stuff you know how to do. So, good luck.